It's time once again for the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us, along with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
We have the meeting from May 2nd to talk about an hour long, a number of items there, retaining walls and other items. But first, we had a work session ahead of that talked about liquor ordinances within the city.
Yeah.
Give us a little background, and it sounds like multiple items discussed here.
Yeah, we had kind of a collection of issues, questions about some liquor city code items that we kind of put together for a brief discussion with the council to get some direction. So discussion about extending liquor uses to live theaters and bowling alleys. So creating a little bit more flexibility in terms of use and how a liquor license might be obtained in those types of uses. And then we have seen kind of a growing interest in the self-dispensing tap wall type businesses. There's a few of them around the metro area, generally in the beer and wine industries. And so adding some language to our code that would allow for kind of that tap wall type of use. And then experiential based businesses. We see a lot of interest in these types of places where you can go, and it's really more about the activity that you're going there to do. This would give some flexibility to allow for a wine and beer license there and give some relief to the restaurant requirement for those types of uses. The other piece was the council had a couple times in the past just talked about putting a cap on the number of off-sale liquor licenses here. Currently we have 13 off-sale liquor license holders in the city, and we don't have a cap on that, and cities of our class aren't required to. You certainly can in your code. So we reviewed that, and the council directed staff to let the market continue to drive that. So you'll see those code changes coming up at future meetings to kind of reflect that direction of that discussion.
So that was a work session ahead of the council meeting on the second night of the meeting. Again, 1 hour in length, 4 items pulled from consent. Let's begin with a proclamation for Arbor Day. What are the activities going on? It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, so our Arbor Day Festival is coming up on Saturday, May 7th from noon to 3 at the Community Center. Councilmember Judy Hansen, of course, is the liaison to the Arbor Committee, and so she wanted to recognize their work. We'll have a lot of the old standards on hand with the U of M Raptor Center, the Reptile and Amphibian Zoo, Tree and Garden Advice, a lot of information about buckthorn and the emerald ash borer issue, kids activities, prize giveaways, those kinds of things. So Saturday, May 7th from noon to 3, and this was a proclamation to recognize that. One other thing with regard to the Arbor Committee was a grant application for the Conservation Partners Legacy Grant Program. This is a program available through the DNR that helps cities assist cities with forest management type of issues. So this is a grant application for up to $50,000, and we're able to get these dollars and then contract out some of that work to deal with buckthorn, invasive species, just general forest management. So we'll be submitting that grant application.
Another item pulled. It's a sure sign of summer is coming. The water skiers are about to be back out.
Yes.
What has to happen each year?
Yeah, so Councilmember Jager serves as the liaison to the Lake Quality Commission, and they always review these ski slalom course applications every year. So these once again were issued for Fish, Weaver, and Rice Lake for the 2022 season.
Another proclamation to talk about pulled from the consent agenda was the May 15th date as Peace Officers Memorial Day, plus a week as well of celebration. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the activities will be kind of back to normal down in St. Paul on Sunday, May 15th in honor of Peace Officers Memorial Day. They do, throughout that day, stand guard. So there's kind of a 24-hour standing guard at that memorial. So we'll be looking forward to that on May 15th. And then throughout the week of May 15th through the 21st is Police Week. And so you might see an opportunity for lighting up your house. The blue lights for your exterior lights will be available at some of the stores, even around here in town. And so we encourage people to think about lighting up their house blue in honor of that Peace Officer Memorial Week.
Now to some of the special business from the meeting. A very nice way to start this section was with a donation from Dick's Sporting Goods that helps out the police in a way to keep them fit. Tell us more. Yeah, so very gracious donation from the Maple Grove store here of Dick's Sporting Goods. They donated 9 stationary bikes, a treadmill, some kettlebells, dumbbells, and a weight bench. About $24,000 worth of equipment donated to, it'll be split up between the police and fire department. We have existing exercise spaces in our facilities
space for those personnel, and so this will replace some of the more outdated equipment that's there, and so this was a really nice donation, and I'm glad to have them there with us to recognize it.
Thanks to Dick for the help there. Community and economic development, touch on a couple items. We've been talking about Homestead Quarters. Remind us again where that is, how long it's been there, and what's going to be happening.
Yeah, since 1988. So this is one of our, kind of our older retail centers right there in kind of the downtown area. So right at the corner of Weaver and Elm Creek Boulevard, kind of that southwest corner of that intersection there. JC's has been on the end for many years. UPS store is there. Number of other notable small businesses. So new ownership, and they're bringing forward some facade improvements there. The building probably hasn't been touched for quite a few years, and so kind of updating the look and feel of the building, which is always nice to see that reinvestment in our older retail centers. So we're very excited about that. Some tenant changes there that would include a drive-through on the end, the far east end of that building. And so some changes to kind of how the parking lot is aligned, and the back of that building has kind of served as a delivery area, some refuse and those kinds of things, and so that'll change into a drive-through lane, and so some changes to the circulation around the parking lot there, but a lot of good discussion about how that would happen with the drive-through and how parking and traffic would work, and so this one did gain approval, and we just look forward to those improvements over there.
All right, watch that corner in the activity. Planning Commission coming up on May 9th, a number of items to touch on, some we've mentioned before. Give us a look at that agenda coming up.
Yeah, so a full Planning Commission agenda for May 9th. The Maple Grove Retail Center, this is a small retail building over kind of next to Brick and Bourbon. There's kind of been a vacant lot there for a number of years. It'll include an ice cream shop, a salon, and a Pancheros, which is a Mexican kind of a fast casual restaurant. So that's a nice addition. The Edison Apartments will be back. That's up at 610 Garland Lane, kind of the north of the Menards area up there. We're dealing with Optimal Performance Golf business. They're looking for a rezone and a liquor license to accommodate their use, and that's kind of up off of 93rd, just kind of west of Osseo, if you will, Osseo Schools. And then phase 3 of the Arbor Lakes Business Park. So this is the land kind of south of the current construction that's happening out there in the Arbor Lakes Business Park up against the freeway. So taking another look at that, and I think 3 of those buildings coming back for development stage there.
Busy meeting, and also Small Business Week coming up as well, and a lot of small businesses in Maple Grove. So get out and shop and say hello there. Engineering, we talked earlier about retaining walls. Here's some discussion, and one of these roads that has a lot of walls, Weaver Lake. Tell us a little bit about that. So a little bit further on the west end of Weaver Lake Road, there's a number of retaining walls, and if you drive that corridor often, you'll see they're kind of in that old Keystone style. These are some of the probably the original walls that were built when the road was last reconstructed. And they're kind of a porous material, so they take on all kind of the salt and the moisture of the roadway here in the Minnesota winters. And so looking to, and they're starting to see some failure out there on those walls. So looking to get those walls replaced. We went through a design process for those, and so this was to authorize approved plans and authorizing for bids on the project, but also to kind of pick the material. So we had some options for them of, really they make them in kind of a larger block, today, but they are patterned in such a way they look like smaller block, and you can really pick from some nice patterns that have more of a residential feel to them. So provided the council some options there. If folks are interested, they can go on the website and look at what was selected, the weathered edge in a single color, and so that will be the material that gets used out there, and we'll likely see that project later this summer. All right, speaking of projects, a lot going on in engineering and public works. Let's talk about a few of the things. Main Street, a little activity starting to happen. That
project's getting underway primarily at the south end by Elm Creek Boulevard initially, and then also they're going to start work on, they're going to put a kind of an access point just due east of where Max's on Main is there. We had talked about that a few years ago and didn't get traction on that, but now working with the property owners there, they were interested in getting kind of that access point there, another access point to that parking lot that really kind of just has a one-way in and out. So we're going to be working on this project throughout the summer. We're being sensitive to the events that occur throughout the summer, so it won't impact Chalk Fest, which is scheduled for June 11th and 12th, and then also Maple Grove Days. We'll take a pause at that time. We really want to make sure that area is passable. In addition, really working with the business owners out there to maintain access. We have kind of those back parking lots, so there's kind of two-sided architecture there and access to those buildings, and so making sure that those businesses are accessible throughout the construction project.
Ken Ashfeld very excited at the meeting about spring road restrictions are off. What does this mean?
Yeah, let the construction season begin. When road restrictions come off, we really kind of start to see activity pick up big time for the summer. So lots of construction activity getting underway, and we're seeing the orange barrels come out for the summer season. Final
engineering update was about the bears that people have mentioned they are seeing around. How are the bears? Where are the bears? What can we do?
Yeah, a lot of bear sightings over the last few weeks, primarily kind of up in the Elm Creek Park area. We just see them coming down kind of from those natural areas up there. And there was one bear that was walking around with a trap on its foot and limping. And so I know they're working with DNR folks to try to address those issues. But I think the main suggestion, don't confront them. Maybe take care of your bird feeders for a while. I know there was a suggestion about that with bird flu as well. So maybe multiple reasons to keep those bird feeders in for a while, and then make sure your garbage is sort of secured until those bears move on.
Sounds good. Final notes from the meeting on the 2nd. You had a couple updates. The calendar looks full. What are some of the dates that you're mentioning to the council?
Yeah, we're trying to swing through the rest of our work session topics here before the summer hits. So on May 16th, we're going to talk with the council about a COPS grant opportunity. These programs are coming back and have received some more additional funding at the federal level, and so it usually provides about 3 years of funding for new officers, and so then you got to be planning for that 4th year when that comes on as an expense. And then our new prosecution department is going to be talking about a traffic diversion program, and so we're going to have some discussion with the city council about that. We're also going to update some photos of the council. We haven't done that for a few years here, and so we had intended it at the time of our new website, and got canceled for a variety of reasons, so we're getting back after that this spring. Tour of the Plymouth Creek Center project. So if folks haven't been down there to Plymouth, the active side of that facility is done and completed. The banquet side is probably more midsummer, but we're going to take a trip down there to take a look at that with our park board, council, and our community center working group is invited along as well. I think it's just a nice kind of see the vision of what we're kind of talking about with our community center project and what Plymouth has accomplished. And then May 23rd, we'll gather with the park board again for kind of a community center project update, and so that'll kind of round out our work session activity here for a while as we move through May.
Busy month of May. All right, speaking of busy, let's talk about some of the things happening in the city. Again, that's your wrap of the council meeting, but here's some things coming up. Public Works Week is May 15th through the 21st. This is a group that does a lot behind the scenes.
They do. It's, when all else fails, call Public Works. It's kind of how it works at City Hall. So the theme for 2022 is ready and resilient, and I think I can attest to that. That is how that team is. They're kind of up for responding to whatever the city presents to them. So they're always ready to serve their communities and resilient in their abilities to pick themselves up off the ground after encountering challenges. So just as a reminder, our Public Works staff keep our communities strong by providing infrastructure for our services for our daily lives, including street, water, stormwater management, public buildings and spaces, parks and grounds, right-of-way management. So a lot of things that they're responsible for, and they're always on call for us.
Hats off to that staff, and that staff will probably be at these two upcoming events here. This is the City Cleanup Days. Tell us about the two options.
Yeah, so option 1, curbside pickup service. This is Monday, May 16th. City crews will pick up appliances and tires from residents' homes. You do need to make, of course, advanced reservations for that, and there's some fees associated with it, so you'll want to check that out on the website. In addition, on Saturday, May 21st, there's a drop-off day at Public Works facility from 8 to noon. And again, just check the website for what kind of items are accepted, and then if there's fees associated with any of that.
We've had a lot of rain recently, and that leads to mosquitoes, and you're ready.
Yeah.
What's happening with the mosquitoes?
I think we've come out of the drought phase,
Yes.
so that's a nice
Right.
recovery from where we were last August and September. So residents may notice in their neighborhood and around town the green or white trucks with the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District logo. Staff on bikes or a helicopter in the air, so they get out early to try to get some of those items in the ponds and whatnot, just to make sure that we're controlling that mosquito population for the summer. So if you see those out and about, that's what they're working on.
Very good. Another busy project in a busy part of town, the Fountains Drive project. What's happening there? What should residents watch out for?
Yeah, so this one's going to be impactful. It's kind of that main intersection there at Fountains, and then going west as you go towards Costco. So I guess if you're going to Costco, I'd recommend go east and come in.
I think you're right.
Come in the backside for a while here, but they're going to try to get after this as quickly as they can and get in and out. But making some changes to the turn lanes there just to try to help with traffic flow in that area. It's a very busy area, so hopefully this will help with that flow and accessibility to those businesses.
Construction also underway at the North Metro Regional Public Safety Training Facility. We've talked a lot about this and some of the funding behind it. Must be exciting to see it coming to be.
Yeah, and it's going to start to go vertical here. We've had some, issues with supply chain, getting materials, those kinds of things. So we're a little bit behind, but the project is coming along quite well. We're going to be starting on the walls this week, so you'll start to see that project take shape from the outside. A lot of internal work on the remodel being done as well. So looking for hopefully like a fall completion on this project.
Very nice. Community survey, we've talked about it multiple times in the past that it was coming. It is here, and the next element is coming this week as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the survey is underway. If you've received a mail survey in the mail, that's for randomly selected households, and that went out to about 4,800 households, and we're looking for a response to that. You can either do it in the paper form or go online and complete that survey, and we're really looking for feedback on city services, programs, and facilities. And then as of May 6th, the opt-in survey will be available on the city website. So if you didn't receive the randomly selected survey, you'll be able to go to our website, respond to the same questions, and again, keeping those data sets kind of separate. But then looking to kind of get all that information back and targeting a June 21st presentation to the City Council of the results of that survey.
Very nice. The website is maplegrovemn.gov. You can find out more about the survey. Also, you can find out about job openings. Still some opportunities for the summer. Yeah,
lots of seasonal positions in Public Works and Park and Recreation. And just note, we have adjusted some of our salaries for the summer just to be a little bit more competitive in the market. So a lot of great opportunities out there for part-time jobs.
All right, head to the website. Here's another website for the Community Center project. It is growingtogethermaplegrove.org. What's the latest there? What's the latest on that project?
Yeah, so we continue to work with our Community Center Working Group. We'll have another meeting this week as we tape this. It'll be Thursday night, and that's going to be kind of an overview of where we're at with our communications plan. Our Community Center Working Group, I think this will be their third meeting, and it's a group of residents and community members made up of representatives from the seniors, the Hockey Association, the Historical Society, the Arts Center, frequent community center users, and then just residents of the community. And so a real diverse group of folks. They're asking great questions and identifying areas where we need to provide more information or additional education to the community about what the project is about, and then how there'll be the local option sales tax question on the ballot this fall, and how that would work, and why the city looked to that option. So it's been a great time with them. They're going to get a chance to, of course, go down and see Plymouth and kind of see what that project turned out to be. But we do encourage residents to visit growingtogethermaplegrove.org. Pretty well-populated website. It's a website that we update frequently, so there's new information there from time to time. But go seek information, and of course, if there's questions, there's an opportunity to email there, and we do respond to all of those. And there's also a phone line as well. So really trying to make sure residents have access to the information they need about the project, and then, of course, the ballot question this fall.
All right, another Park and Rec item to touch on. Summer registration is here. Looking ahead to summer events and activities. What should residents do right now? Yeah,
so registration for summer parks and recreation programs are open. The full summer activity guide is available on the city website, so maplegrovemn.gov for that.
All right, 3 more dates to put on your calendar. The first, for those that love the farmers market, It's back outdoors very soon.
Yeah, and the weather's actually looking like it's going to turn a little better here. So Thursday, May 12th will be our first outdoor market. Hours are from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Maple Grove Community Center, so we're looking forward to that. We have another park and rec related activity coming up, our boulevard planting, our ever popular time to kind of beautify the streets of Maple Grove. Volunteers are needed Thursday, May 19th, and then Saturday, May 21st. From 9 to 1. So an opportunity to come out, you know, maybe as a business, as a group, and do kind of a team building volunteer activity, or your family if you are interested in signing up for the weekend. So those are the flower beds along Weaver Lake Road and Elm Creek Boulevard. We provide all the supplies, and if you've driven down the roads, you can see our parks crew has been out there cleaning up and getting those ready for planting, and so they make it easy for that day. So you can just call up to the community center to register, or there's information available on the website as well.
Yeah, they've been tilling up the soil, so it won't be that hard when you put your shovel in or put the plant in there. Final note, you mentioned it earlier, Chalk Fest is back.
Yeah, it's coming back earlier this summer, so Saturday, June 11th and Sunday, June 12th. Both days are from 10 to 5, and if you haven't been, this is really a remarkable art event on Main Street that kind of highlights both local and artists from all around the country with street chalk art. So lots of other vendors that'll be on tap that day as well, so great family event to get out on Main Street.
And being earlier, it might not be 100 degrees on the street, right? You feel sorry for the artists as they're driving chalk and hopping off of the pavement there. All right, a lot going on in the city as you see. Heidi, thanks again for all of the information.
You're welcome.
Let's leave you with contact information, maplegrovemn.gov, right in the middle of the screen. A lot of information, a lot of dates to think about, so make sure you check in there. Also check in about the community survey that is now underway. Monday the 16th, 7:30, next council meeting at the Government Center, and phone number at the bottom of the screen. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us once again.